welcome to our top 10 quick comic picks. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our quick show where we show you about 10 of the biggest books coming out this week to your local comic book store, or if you shop with us online at infinityflux.net, or you shop with us in store at infinityflux. We're right here on the ground. You can check these out. So let's get into this week's big comics.
Yep, the biggest one is another From the Ashes book. This is Uncanny X-Men. This is the one written by Gail Simone and the artist by David Marquez. And in this one, there's a few different story points. There is a character named Dr. Ellis who wants to transform the former X-Mansion into a prison. We see Wolverine, Rogue, and Gambit fighting a dragon that's on top of a pyramid, which is pretty cool. We are introduced to a new group of characters called the Outliers who want the X-Men's help protecting them from something creepy in the forest. And we also see Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit, and Nightcrawler visit a terminally ill child in the hospital who is a big X-Men fan and wants to meet them. So a lot of stuff going on in here, but another great addition to the From the Ashes era of X-Men books.
Next up, I've got Absolute Power number 2. So this is our big chapter. I love how the books before this, some of the tie-ins and everything have all led to this because the heroes are now seeking refuge inside the Fortress of Solitude as they are trying to come up with a plan about what to do. But is even the Fortress of Solitude safe? And there's a mysterious character on this cover. It looks like Amanda Waller has another trick to play on the superheroes, and it is not looking good. So, to continue the big story of Absolute Power, you don't want to miss this one. It is a very action-packed book, and some really great scenes, especially with Nightwing.
Yep.
Here's that one.
And next up is EC's new Cruel Universe. So this is just like their Epitaphs from the Abyss, where that was an anthology horror book. This is an anthology sci-fi book, much in the vein of the old school EC sci-fi books. We get 4 different stories in this by different creative teams, and these are all just 4 different little one-shots. We get a story with gladiators in space, but it doesn't quite go the way you think. There is another story about a guy who is investigating a black hole in space, but then he sees another ship that shouldn't be there, and there's a lot of mystery around that. And a couple other stories in this as well. One that I thought could have been a horror story, really, but just a fantastic book. If you just want some quick, short sci-fi stories, this is the one to get.
Next up for me, another new number 1. This time from DC. This is Gotham City Sirens number 1. This is going to be a weekly series for 4 weeks. And it is insane. If you like Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman, you've got 3 very weird stories that might be related as Harley Quinn deals with mechanical buffaloes rampaging Gotham City. You've got a mysterious energy drink that has kind of infatuated the people of Gotham that Poison Ivy is checking into. And Catwoman met somebody kind of close to them who denied being in a contest and now is being hunted. So what do all these things have in common? You have to read this. But in one of my notes I also said, and there is a small pool with a Batman villain wearing a bikini. Who is it? Is it Hugo Strange? Is it Bane? I don't know, but you'll have to read it to find out.
Well, next up is Venom War number 1. We have been talking about the Venom War tie-ins for a long time, and now we have the beginning of the main story. And in this one, Eddie Brock puts a call out to Dylan Brock to come face him because Eddie wants the Venom symbiote back. They have each seen visions of the future that are pretty terrible that shows what would happen if the other one kept possession of the Venom symbiote. And so they're wanting to fight each other for that symbiote, but it has actually gone and bonded with Peter Parker because it wants his help in stopping both of them.
Next up, a new number 1 from Boom. This is Red Before Black. And this is really interesting. It is a very kind of crime-heavy, almost makes you think of like an Ed Brubaker type story, where we have our main character, Val, who just got out of prison, but with nowhere else to go. She is turning back to a life of crime, but she has to do something pretty horrendous first. But she also is kind of plagued with some rage problems, but it doesn't look like a normal thing. There's some weirdness going on here. We'll have to read more to find out, but a really good, grounded crime story from Stephanie Phillips at Boom.
Well, next up, we have a new book from Image called The Power Fantasy, and this one's really cool. This is about a world in where there are 6 people that have superpowers, but those superpowers are very big and dangerous, and they have to decide to, they decide that they shouldn't fight each other, because if they do, it could destroy the world. But when the U.S. government tries to take out one of them, he wants revenge, and they have to do something pretty drastic in order to prevent something even more terrible from happening.
Next up, another new number one, this time from Dark Horse. This is Arkham Horror: The Terror at the End of Time number one. And if you're a fan of the Arkham Horror tabletop game, the role-playing game, this is a big tie-in with that. So in this, we have a woman who seeks the help of a detective when she tells him that her sister has been taken by a cult, and they were going to use her for a human sacrifice. But she doesn't know if her sister lived or died, but needs the help. And it seems like there's some very Lovecraftian horror stuff simmering throughout this story. Plus, a really fun thing, if you're a fan of the game, there is character profiles that you can play as in the back of this. They kind of work as like the character cards.
Nice.
So it really ties in with the game.
The last for me is the first issue of Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood. And this is just like a lot of the Black, White, and Red, Black, White, and Blood books that we've read. This has 4 different short one-shot stories of Spider-Man at various points in his life, but they all involve him wearing the black suit, whether it's just the cloth suit or the symbiote. And it's all done in black and white with red accents where needed. But yeah, just another cool Black, White, and Blood, only this time it's a black suit instead.
Next up, I've got a new number one, this time from Magma Comics, and this was really fun. This is called The Pedestrian, and it's when the city streets aren't safe, there is a new kind of vigilante that emerges, the Pedestrian, but he is a major rule follower. So even when he's going to stop a criminal, if the light turns red, he cannot cross the street. He's silent, he's very odd, and even if a criminal loses a wallet on their thing, he's going to return it to them. So a very weird world, and it looks like there's going to be some more of these very strange hero vigilantes popping up in this city. So a really fun new number one from Magma Comics. And I believe that is it for our top 10 quick comic picks. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, head over to infinityflux.net right now, where you can order these books while supplies last. Right now, they are up there. So hurry up, giddy up, and get over there.
Yep.
And stay tuned for our longer show coming up next, where we'll be going over these books, some of their variants, and much, much more. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, see ya.